Hey, what's going on everyone? I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope that everyone is having a great day, and thank you for joining me here today for your daily dose of Star Wars. We are now just a few days over a month until we get to see the long anticipated Star Wars The Last Jedi in theaters. I hope you all have pre-ordered your tickets and are ready for this movie because this is going to be a Star Wars film unlike any other. At least according to Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill just did an interview with SFX magazine, which is a sci-fi news type of magazine, and Mark was addressing how this movie is going to be different than The Force Awakens now that he has a larger role and a physical presence in this film, and how this movie is going to be different than any Star Wars film that has come before it. Mark knew he only had a small physical part in The Force Awakens, despite the entire plot of the movie revolving around him, but he's not upset about it. In fact, he thinks it was a good idea. He told SFX, "I think it was a practical decision to push my story to episode 8 because the plate was so full. You had to establish all these new characters, you had to honor the end of Han Solo's storyline, and it would have been too complicated. I thought the audience would demand that at some point Luke, Leia, and Han were all together. I thought that would be a major bone of contention, but I was wrong." Mark makes a lot of good points here. If Luke would have been involved in The Force Awakens, the second he came on screen, the only thing a lot of people, especially me, would have been thinking about is, where's Luke? What's he gonna do next? The investment you had in the other characters would have dwindled, and you wouldn't have been as interested in them as you are now since Luke wasn't in that movie. A lot of people are worried that this trilogy is just a remake of the original trilogy, with a fresh coat of paint. Luckily, the closer we get to the movie, the less and less worried you should be, because it truly does seem like this film won't be a copy of Empire. Of course, in order to get that Star Wars experience, there will be parallels between the films, but it simply won't be a remake or a copycat. Everyone at Lucasfilm seems to be behind Rian Johnson 110% and continues to praise him for the fantastic job he did on this movie, and how truly is unique. And Mark Hamill is no exception. Mark says, "Rian had to find a way to take elements of the movies that everyone expects to be there. The action, the adventure, the special effects, the creatures and humor, so that everyone feels like they're having a Star Wars experience, but also bring something new to the table. That's challenging. That hasn't been done before. I think he's done it. This one doesn't feel like any of the others to me, aside from the elements I just spoke about. People say, is it more like Jedi? Is it more like Empire? I don't know. It's sort of its own thing." The fact that Mark couldn't even pick one of the original trilogy films to compare it to is a good sign. This should put everyone's worries and fears to rest. Just as a bonus, Mark Hamill also talked about what it was like setting foot on the Millennium Falcon for the first time in a very long time. He said, "I walked onto the Millennium Falcon set and I was just overwhelmed with emotion. Everything was exactly the way it was. It even smelled the same way. When I sat in the cockpit, it was like visiting a childhood home that you had been torn down. It just unlocked something in my brain. I got goosebumps. My family was with me and I said, guys, I have to be alone here for a second." That wraps things up for me here in this video. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. If you want more Star Wars coffee, be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SWCoffee YouTube. If you're a daily coffee drinker and want to be one of the first to see a new video as soon as it goes live, hit that bell down there to receive a notification on your iOS or Android device. Thank you guys for watching. As always, keep loving Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.